Good morning. It is Thursday, April 16th, and today we will convert units by multiplying by the conversion. Now, this is a procedure that you learned in Algebra 1 last year. You might have seen it in some science classes. The only notes are really right here. It says to convert units, multiply to get the units to cancel, and I showed you an example here. If I want to get inches to cancel, if I want to get inches to centimeters, then I'm going to make a fraction. The inches goes on bottom, so my inches cancel. Whatever the conversion is, I write here. And then from there, I'm either going to multiply or divide depending on where the numbers are. Now, there are some conversions you're expected to know, and there are some that are given to you. So here's your reference sheet. And up top, these are all conversions that are given to you. To be honest, usually these are not the units, the conversions that you're going to be using. Usually the conversions are going to be something that we're going to talk about in a moment. But understand that these are all here. You might be using them. You'll see that we may use one or two of them. But let's talk about the conversions that you're expected to know. You're expected to know that there are, let's start with the non-metrics. You're expected to know that there are 60 seconds in 1 minute. You're expected to know that there are 60 minutes in 1 hour. You're expected to know that there are 24 hours in 1 day. You're expected to know there are 7 days in 1 week. You're expected to know there are 52 weeks in 1 year. You're expected to know there are 365 days in 1 year. All right, so those are all the time ones. Those are all things you're expected to know. You're expected to know that there are 12 inches in 1 foot. You're expected to know there are 3 feet in 1 yard. Now, the metric system. You're expected to know that there are 1,000 millimeters in 1 meter. Now, this doesn't just go for millimeters, it goes for milliliters, milligrams. Milli means 1,000. So 1,000 millimeters is 1 meter. Let's just write the actual thing. You're expected to know. Let's see if we can just make this bigger. On the flip side of that, millimeters are really small. You're expected to know that 1,000 meters is 1 kilometer. And again, same thing. It doesn't have to be meter. It could be liter. It could be gram. Milli is 1,000. Kilo is 1,000. You need to know that there are 100 centimeters in 1 meter. Again, it could be centiliters, it could be centigrams, but those are the main ones that you're expected to know. And that's really what comes up the most. So again, milli is 1,000th. Milli is very small. So there's 1,000 millis in a regular, in this case 1,000 millimeters in a meter. Kilo is huge. There's 1,000 meters in 1 kilometer, or 1,000 grams in 1 kilogram, or 1,000 liters in 1 kiloliter. And centi is 100th. 100 centimeters is 1 meter. The prefix centi means 100. Century, cent, all those things are 100. So these are all the ones that you're expected to know. So I have them up here for you. We can refer back to them. These are the ones that you're given. And let's go through some examples. Again, this is something you learned back in Algebra 1. But, you know, when I say you learned it in Algebra 1, who really knows? So let's get my pen going here. It wants me to convert 750 meters to kilometers. So I'm going to start by writing what they give me. 750 meters. To convert, I always multiply by a fraction. Whatever the unit I want to, whatever my starting unit is, goes on bottom. I want to convert to kilometers, so whatever I'm converting to goes on top. So again, whatever I start with goes on bottom, whatever I'm converting to goes on top. Now, what's the conversion from meters to kilometers? Well, there are 1,000 meters in 1 kilometer. So I'm going to put 1,000 meters for 1 kilometer. The reason I do that is my units cancel. So I'm left with 750 times 1 on top. So that's 750 over 1,000 on bottom. Sometimes I multiply, sometimes I divide. In this case, I have 750 over 1,000, so that's exactly what I'm going to type. I'm going to type 750 over 1,000. My calculator, there it comes. 750 over 1,000. And my answer is 0.75. And my unit is kilometers. And that's my answer. Number 2, again, I start with what I'm given. I'm given 1.2 kilometers. I'm converting, so I do times and I make a fraction. Whatever I start with goes on the bottom. Whatever I'm converting to goes on top. What's the conversion from meters to kilometers? Well, we just said it's 1,000 meters is 1 kilometer. Notice that they're reversed. In number 1, the 1 kilometer was on top. In number 2, the 1 kilometer is on bottom. The reason is, whatever my starting unit is, that's what goes on the bottom. And then the numbers have to go in their appropriate spot. So now the kilometers cancel. I'm left with 1.2 times 1,000. There's nothing left on bottom. I go to my calculator, 1.2 times 1,000. Gives me 1,200. And my unit is meters. It's a relatively simple procedure. It's just a matter of practicing it and getting it down. Number 3, I'm starting with 220 centimeters. I want to convert that to meters. So whatever I start with goes on bottom because the whole point is to get it to cancel. Whatever I'm converting to goes on top. What's the conversion between meters and centimeters? There are 100 centimeters in 1 meter. So I'm going to put 100 with the centimeters, 1 with the meters. Centimeters cancel. I'm left with 220 times 1 on top. I'm left with 100 on bottom. I go to my calculator. 220 divided by 100 is 2.2. What's my unit? Meters. Why don't you try number 4 on your own? As a hint, I'm starting with 3.45 meters. I'll give you about 30 seconds to try it on your own. Okay, I'm starting with meters, so I'm converting, I do multiplication. Whatever I start with, that unit goes on bottom. I'm converting meters to centimeters. The conversion from meters to centimeters, we said a moment ago, was 100 centimeters is 1 meter. Meters cancel. I'm left with 3.45 times 100. We can use our calculator. I don't need the calculator for this one. That's 345 centimeters. And that's it. So let's try number 7, 1.6 inches to centimeters. Again, I start with what they give me. I'm converting, so whatever I start with goes on bottom. Whatever I'm converting to goes on top. What's the conversion from inches to centimeters? I don't know. Do you know? You probably don't know. You're not expected to know the conversion from inches to centimeters. However, it is the very first conversion on the reference sheet. 1 inch is 2.54 centimeters. So 1 inch is 2.54 centimeters. Inches cancel. In this case, I have multiplication since they're both on top. 1.6 times 2.54. I can't do that without a calculator. Well, I can, but you know, it's not going to happen right now. 1.6, 2.54, and that's going to give me 4.064. And my unit is centimeters. So if you don't know the conversion, well, again, these are the conversions that you're expected to know. And these are the ones that are given to you. All right, so you don't have to memorize this page. You do have to memorize this page. Miles to feet, again, I don't know that. Well, I kind of know that actually. But miles to feet is on here. So you would just use that conversion. All right, so this is just more that you're getting from there. Now, starting with number 13, this is where we're incorporating conversions into geometry questions. So this is where things get a little annoying because you have to pay very close attention. Number 13, so we have 13. All right, let's take a look at 13. What is the volume to the nearest cubic foot of a rectangular prism? So let's draw a rectangular prism. That is 2.4 feet high, 3.2 feet wide, and 9 inches high. I don't know why it says high twice. It's all good. So here's the issue. It wants the answer in cubic feet. If it wants the answer in cubic feet, everything has to be feet. Well, the 2.4 is feet, and the 3.2 is feet, but the 9 is not. So I have to convert that 9 inches to feet. So I'm starting with inches, so inches goes on bottom. I'm converting to feet. There's 12 inches in 1 foot. 9 times 1 is 9 over 12. I can use a calculator if I need to. It's 0.75. Now everything's feet. Once everything is feet, I can now find the cubic feet, volume of a rectangular prism. I can go back, length times width times height. 2.4. Remember, the length, the width, and the height are all interchangeable. 2.4, 3.2, 0.75, 5.76. So V equals 5.76 cubic feet. When you're finding volume, you need to have all the units the same, and they should all be whatever it's asking for. You could have converted the feet to inches and then done the volume in cubic inches, but because it's asking for cubic feet, you have to convert to feet. So you have to start reading these questions carefully from here on out, making sure all the units match. If it asks for cubic foot, then you need everything in feet. If it asks for cubic meter, then you need everything in meter. Do the conversion based on how we just learned it, and then from there you can do the problem. What is the volume of a cylinder to the nearest tenth of a cubic meter, whose radius is 1,200 meters and height is 0.8 kilometers? Well, it wants cubic meters, so everything must be meters. 1,200 is meters, so that one's good. 0.8 is kilometers, that is not good. So I'm going to have to convert that 0.8 kilometers to meters because I need everything to be meters. So whatever I start with goes on bottom. I'm converting kilometers to meters, so meters goes on top. What's the conversion from meters to kilometers? You're expected to know that 1,000 is 1 kilo. So 1,000 meters is 1 kilometer. Kilometers cancel. I have 0.8 times 1,000. That's 800 meters. So now that everything is meters, the height is 800, the radius is 1,200, volume of a cylinder pi r squared h. I'm going to give you about 45 seconds to finish this one on your own. To the nearest tenth, that means I'm typing pi in. Pi 1,200 squared, 800. I don't need nearest tenth. It's a big number. 3619114737. 3619114737 cubic meters. And that's it. I got 2 left for you here. I'll let you do 15 on your own. Just as a hint, there's compound volume here, and because it wants the answer to the nearest cubic inch, I'm going to have to convert feet to inches. I'll let you try that one on your own. 16 doesn't really belong in this unit, but the whole point is that we're going to have to do a conversion to answer it. From a point on the ground 1/2 mile to the base of the historic monument, the angle of elevation, we got a right triangle. So it wants the answer to the nearest foot. It's giving me 1/2 mile. So I'm going to have to convert the 1/2 mile to feet. So whatever I start with goes on bottom. I'm converting miles to feet. What's the conversion between miles and feet? Well, that's on your reference sheet. 1 mile is 5,280 feet. Everything's on top. So I'm multiplying 0.5 times 5,280. It is 2,640 feet. So the point on the ground, here's my little monument, is 2,640 feet from the base of the monument. The angle of elevation is 11.87. It's asking for the height of the monument. Hopefully you remember what to do from here. This is SOHCAHTOA. I'm not going to do this for you now. Actually, should I do it for you now? Yeah, I guess so. I hope it's really important that you know how to do SOHCAHTOA at this point, but Label your A, your O, and your H. H is the hypotenuse. The angle always connects the H to the A. I'm just going to erase the conversion at this point so I have some space to work. Oops. I don't know why it's so big. So Katoa, add the A, the O, and the H, which are involved, the O and the A. So it's tan theta equals O over A. Tan of 11.87 equals X over 2640. Tan of 11.87. Again, I like to do this step. Let me just make sure I'm in the right mode. Yep. It's 0.2101 dot dot dot. And then I cross multiply and solve. 0.2101 times 2640. 554 to the nearest foot. 555 feet. You might be saying, Mr. Schlansky, this is a right triangles question. Why do you put that in this packet? Well, even though it's a right triangles question, I still had to start by doing the conversion from miles to feet. So that's the point. You're probably not going to see a question like this, but you're going to see a question where you have to utilize this skill to do a problem like this, or this, or this. So we pretty much did most of this thing together. Your classwork / homework. Is to finish conversions, and your quiz will be due tomorrow night. Any questions, reach out to me on Remind. Have a great day.